Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, where the topic is the future of Project Online, NextGen Ppm on the Power Platform. My name is Robert Stickle. I'm also joined by my colleagues, Jim Patterson and Paul S. Brooks. During today's webinar, attendees will be on mute and line will not be open for questions. However, feel free to use the GoToWebinar question feature to submit any questions that you may have. I will address these during the webinar and will respond via email if we do not get to your specific question. If for some reason you get distracted or pulled away from the webinar, no need to worry, as I'll be emailing a link to the presentation once it has been posted on our YouTube channel. I will now turn the presentation over to Jim.
Thanks, Robert, and welcome everybody. Thanks for sharing some of your time with us today. This is a hot topic for those in the Microsoft ecosystem about the future of Project Online and where things are going with Microsoft in that realm in the project and portfolio management sphere. So we're excited to talk to you about this topic today. Now, one of the reasons that we're in a position to kind of talk about this fairly authoritarian, with good authority, I should say, is that we are a closely held go-to Microsoft partner in this area. We were actually just recently named again for 2021 at Microsoft Inspire, their Project and Portfolio Management Global Partner of the Year in 2021. We were also named their 2021 finalist for Power Apps and Power Automate, and we've won these awards in other years. So we're consistently recognized as a leader here, and we have gold certifications in Project and Portfolio Management, as well as a variety of other disciplines within Microsoft, let alone being able to help people in the portfolio management sphere with scaled Agile and lean portfolio management type of concepts as well, being a certified scaled Agile partner. We bring to the table all dimensions of this, whether it be the technology, the people, the process, and we really specialize on doing these things in the Microsoft cloud, whether it be Microsoft 365, the Power Platform, Microsoft Azure or Azure DevOps, and using our one-plan technologies as well in IP to help round out these solutions to bring the capabilities and the outcomes that our customers are looking for. So with that, let it be said that there is a future for Project Online. Microsoft announced a while back that they were reimagining Microsoft Project and Project Online, and they introduced Project for the Web shortly thereafter. And it really is about saying that this isn't the long term. They're really not putting new innovation into Project Online, though it is here for a while. The idea is that all future direction, innovation, and the push forward is going to be with other things that we're going to be discussing today. Now, with that, there's a lot of people out there using Microsoft Project and specifically Project Online. And as those of you who use it know, it is a project and portfolio management solution, and it's really based on a SharePoint or SharePoint Online foundation. It really allows you to use Microsoft Project on the desktop. It has some web-based views and capabilities from that repository, and it's been around for quite a while. I mean, it has what it has as its capability and hasn't evolved much in recent years. And the rationale is that Microsoft is spending its time innovating in other areas, not only for project portfolio management, but overall solutions in the Microsoft platform. To that end, we're going to be talking today about where they're going in the Power Platform and Power Apps, and that being the future of what we can call traditional project and portfolio management use cases, where people have to manage projects, manage portfolios and programs, and manage a lot of other aspects of that other than just the schedules that you might have, say, in Microsoft Project Desktop by itself. They've also, in the Dynamics platform, launched what they call Project Operations, which is really a professional services automation solution that is really for people who are doing client-facing, billable types of projects in the professional services type of realm. And that may not be fit. It's a fit for a certain use case, but not traditional PPM necessarily. So the idea here is we're going to focus on that top right today as far as the future of Project Online. So let's talk about Project for the Web. When part of this reimagining piece is the idea is to provide a modern interface in the browser, also provide something that's accessible for the occasional or what some will call the accidental project manager, Because in today's environments, many people are getting assigned to manage projects without really formal project management training from like PMI or other certification boards or even on-the-job training. And using something like a Microsoft project to its full degree on the desktop can be daunting to some. Some people just need to do the basics in creating schedules and dependencies and resources and other things like that and be able to get started quickly. And Project for the Web is meant to do that. As you see in this animated screen, you can work with this data in a traditional Gantt chart or timeline that's on the screen right now. You could possibly work with it in a Kanban style board, kind of like Planner, but actually with scheduling logic behind it. Or even just in a simple grid that people might work in if they're used to working in more of a spreadsheet type of mode in order to do those things. The key is to make it simple, make it a modern-based interface, and readily accessible from the web. So the idea is to give a fresh, new, modern experience and get people collaboration capabilities through things like co-authoring and make that stuff easy for people to use. Now, this is built not on the SharePoint platform like Project Online was, but built on the Power Platform. Now, many people are using things from the Power Platform today. Power BI is very popularly used for things like reporting and dashboards and analytics. Power Automate is part of that platform, and this the vision for workflow automation and process automation, and even some connecting of data between different applications, really supplanting what people are doing, say, with SharePoint workflows today that Project Online leverages. And then Power Apps, which is the low-code, no-code platform that allows people to fashion solutions. And all of this stuff in the Power Apps realm stores the data in a robust database repository on the back end called Dataverse, and making it readily available in a robust database for transactions of working with the system itself, as well as readily accessing that data for things like integrations or reporting and visualizations. Now, Project for the Web is built on this platform, and the vision is to leverage this as part of Microsoft's future. Now, for those of you wondering to what degree, Satya Nadella himself is saying that it is core to what Microsoft is doing and one of Microsoft's biggest bets. So if you're looking at going where Microsoft's going and going down the line, you can feel rest assured that you're going in lockstep and swimming in the same direction as Microsoft in the things that we're going to talk about today. So if we think about Project for the Web as a web-based tool, and on the surface, it looks fairly simple. But if multiple people or a person is doing multiple projects and creating them, these projects are actually all being natively stored and automatically stored in this Dataverse repository. Now, somebody could just use it as a way to access it and say, I want to open my project, and it's going to open it from Dataverse, and that might be it if they're using it as a standalone one-person thing. But the audience that's probably we're talking to today about the future of Project Online is probably looking at more than that. They're looking at a portfolio management system that has projects that have a variety of project managers and owners and participants. And that's where the Power Apps comes in. Having this data available in Dataverse makes it possible to have a Power App solution wrapped around these schedules so that other dimensions of project and portfolio management can be worked on within that solution, of which the schedule is just one dimension or one component of that. So to that end, instead of having people build their own solutions from the ground up, which they can do with the Power App solution, we found that most people want something to get them started, and that's where this Project for the Web Accelerator will come in. It is a pre-built Power App solution for project and portfolio management that gives additional capabilities beyond just the scheduling capabilities. Some people call it the Ppm Accelerator, the Project Accelerator. And One Plan Solutions is proud to say that we actually worked with Microsoft and actually developed this web accelerator for them. So we're well equipped to speak to you about that or support you on implementing it and those types of things should you want to do that. And we'll give you some information about how to do that at the end of the webinar. But this really provides this as a solution for portfolio management, program management, other things that you would traditionally find, say, today in Project Online. So this accelerator solution components, you have Project for the Web, which really allows you to start a project and put all your tasks and your schedules in there. So that's in Project for the Web itself. Now, when we start adding the Power Apps Ppm Accelerator components, you add things like being able to log issues, risks, and change requests, be able to do status reports with both objective data and narrative, Put some governance process and KPIs in place such that you can have color coding on what's red, yellow, green, and that type of thing. It also gives you the ability to have intake and a project request area so that you can capture things, evaluate and vet these projects, and then ultimately promote them to projects should you decide you want to embark upon those. On top of that, you can aggregate projects into logical groupings or collections of programs in that so that you can do some program management within a program entity in here. And also, because there is a native feed from this accelerator or the Dataverse data source that's there to Power BI and a content pack of reports that you can start with, the dashboards and reporting becomes a natural output of that process. So you get all this when you implement this accelerator with Project for the Web. Now, what do you get in this one? The demand management, meaning the intake that we talked about in the project request with some reporting around that for analyzing those requests. Program management, so you can manage things at a program aggregate level. Project management, using Project for the Web, so you can use the grids, the boards, and the timelines that we talked about in the Gantt charts. Risk logs, that you can log your risks and actually look at things like risk matrices and things like that as you look at risks across all projects. Same thing with issue management. Same thing with lodging change requests and getting those approved and accepted and going through the internal process that you would go through. Status reports, whether it includes both objective data that you'd like to capture and KPIs, as well as narrative that you'd like to add into a status report. And just overall project intelligence with a report pack that has a whole collection of reports on things like requests and programs and portfolios and such as you go through. And Project for the Web is also available so people can access it and communicate and collaborate on it within Microsoft Teams. Now, this isn't necessarily part of the accelerator itself, but it is a side benefit of going with a solution like this. Now, that being said, what's in the accelerator meets the needs for a central project repository for a lot of organizations, but many organizations are a little more advanced and matured in their project and portfolio management process and need more and have different use cases and requirements that need to be fulfilled. In this case, adding things like time reporting and timesheets, financial management in a very detailed fashion, time-phased resource capacity planning, and even advanced project portfolio management beyond just having a list of projects in a portfolio and be able to do those types of things, maybe some analysis, some what-if scenarios. And the Gartner Group is saying that these are critical capabilities that many people want as they go through their evolution of evolving their PMO practices or project and portfolio management practices. So with the future here on the Power Platform, this is where OnePlan comes in. Now, this is from OnePlan Solutions being the OnePlan application itself, really is built to plug right into the accelerator and extend its capabilities and add those things that we're talking about to the base accelerator and seamlessly provide that to you to give you a solution that not only will be commensurate with what you're used to in Project Online, but even in many ways has capabilities that Project Online doesn't even have. So it even goes beyond that. So if we look at this and we look at the components that were in the base accelerator, we add things like strategic execution and strategic alignment with projects. We add the ability to do a management of multiple portfolios. We do things like prioritization and what-if scenarios, detailed financial tracking and planning, detailed resource capacity planning, all provided by OnePlan itself. Yes, we still get the reporting and dashboards, but if you look down below now, we also add some task management or things for the actual team members or resources on our project to provide, say, a My Work area where they can actually report status on the things they've been assigned, or a timesheet that for organizations that require that for things like chargebacks or billings and those types of things. And on top of that, to achieve what's called adaptive PPM, which the analysts like Gartner are describing as being able to provide portfolio management, even if the detailed execution and planning are coming from different tool sets, or maybe even using different methodologies, some waterfall, some agile, maybe some hybrids. The idea is to be able to bring in data, not just from Project for the Web like the accelerator does, but bring in data from those users who still want to use Microsoft Project Desktop, meaning Project Professional, or want to use Azure DevOps, or even Jira for their Agile stuff, and be able to bring that into the mix and have it be incorporated into their portfolios. OnePlan brings the ability to do that to the table. So it gives you the power of choice. Now, this is a Microsoft example, but Project for the Web, Project Desktop, Azure DevOps, all feeding into the same portfolio. Portfolio visibility across all work, regardless of the planning or project management execution tool that you choose to use. Project portfolio prioritization with flexible design of scoring models that you want for prioritizing your projects. Being able to do portfolio Kanban boards for those Agile folks who want to do more program increment or PI planning in a more board-like drag and drop format. Portfolio tree hierarchies, if you want to actually have hierarchies of things like programs and portfolios and even other things that you might like, value stream levels and other things that you might have in a scaled Agile framework. The idea is to be able to flexibly be able to design those. Resource capacity planning on a time phase basis. Resource negotiation so that project managers and resource managers can negotiate and have byplay to figure out how to request resources and then get them committed to projects based upon the functional organizations in a matrix that may have to supply those resources to the projects. Resource prioritization, leveraging that resource management information or capacity information to say, if this is our desired portfolio, do we have the bandwidth or the resources to accomplish that portfolio? And if not, be able to select the projects that might fit or be the best projects to do, or maybe sequence or time phase those projects till we can actually do them with the resources that we have. Detailed financial planning with detailed cost types and cost categories, and be able to use those financials as also constraining factors when we're selecting and optimizing our portfolio and seeing what we actually have the budget to do. And the strategic portfolios and objectives and key results, or OKRs, being able to not only build these so that you can actually execute on the strategy themselves, but then align your projects with these should you want to make sure you're working on the right things that are aligning with the objectives of the organization. We have insights, which are AI-based, that allow you to, an individual contributor or user, to say, these are the things that require my attention. These are the things that maybe are overdue. These are the things that I really ought to call my attention towards. These insights are helpful for all users in the system, as well as that my work area where people have one place to go to status all of the things that they've been assigned to in the system in one central location, as well as timesheets if people have to report time. Now, the capability that we talked about by bringing a variety of tools in, whether different planning tools or Agile tools, is really the integration platform capability from one plant. But that capability also allows us to do productized integrations with your, say, financial systems, with your service management systems, with your professional services or CRM systems as a source for intake for your projects, et cetera. So these integrations are not just custom coding that's being done anymore, but productized connectors that can be configured and keep you out of the business of staying on top of product changes and API changes and consistently managing that beyond just developing it in the first place. So with those concepts, bringing them to life today will be Paul Estabrooks. He's going to demonstrate these things to you in action. So take it away, Paul.
Thank you very much, Jim. I'm just going to switch presenters here. Let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see.
Good day, everyone. So I'm going to walk through kind of a building demo. We're going to spend a bit of time in the accelerator, which is where I am logged into right now. Then I'm going to jump into a shift of this accelerator, this Power Apps environment, to include some of the one plan stuff that Jim just talked about. And then I'm going to end with just a quick glance at a more complete built out one that touches on some of the other things that he covered. The idea being, I want you to see what the accelerator provides out of the box. There's a lot of rich capabilities there, and I want to spend a couple of minutes on it. Then I want to show you sort of how we've extended it naturally and sort of within that context, and then end with a bit of a broader vision of all that it can do when you look at what Power Apps provides as a platform and where you might take this and some ideas and things that we've seen clients do in the past. So that's the journey we're going to go on. So I've logged in, I'm in the dashboard here, and you can see some of that capability. So it starts off with a nice dashboard itself that shows some different reports or the ability to drill into some data and learn a bit about what's going on in our particular project environment. So now we're just going to kind of work our way down that left navigation. I'm going to start with project requests. Having done project online and before that project server implementations a lot. This was always a popular request where clients were looking for different ways of capturing this. And now built into this accelerator is sort of this native capability where I could come in, I'll just grab one of these just to show you quickly, some rich information about what this particular request might be, some other data we might want, align it to a priority or other types of data that we need to capture. And again, all of this form is configurable so we could define the information that we need in that first initial request. And then we can wrap around that a workflow or a Microsoft flow to say, once we've reviewed this and accepted it or approved it, we want to move it over and create a project or a program or assign it to a program, whatever that case may be in your situation. So again, the Power Platform gives us this capability. Define a simple form. Here's a good starter as part of the accelerator. Wrap around it the workflow that your organization wants to use or the governance structure that you have, and move it on into assign it as part of a program and create a project and begin that sort of more complete journey. So very simply, I have this intake scenario. I can group these. I could say, well, I want to look at it, by priority, and I can quickly see all my critical requests, my high, my moderates, my lows. I might look at where they are in terms of approval process. So very rich capability here that I can look at and use right away and deploy to my organization. So that's requests. Now programs. And again, as longtime implementers of Project Online, this was always a common request. Well, can we define a program and can we give that program characteristics? And that was always a bit of a challenge, but the accelerator gives us that right out of the gate. So if I just pick any one of these programs and go and look at it, my program itself has data, it has characteristics or metadata, it has a name, it has a state, it has an owner, and so forth. But it also has, sorry, wrong screen. It also has financials. It has a budget. We've set aside a budget for this particular program and an expected level of benefits that it's going to yield. And so far, we have about just over 600,000 worth of that budget remaining because the projects assigned to it are consuming 584 to date. And you can see the other data here. Again, fully configurable, but now I can manage a program budget based on the projects that participate in that program and track and see how I am progressing both in terms of budget spend and potentially benefit yield and so forth, or ROI or other metrics you might want to track. The program itself can have a status. So I can now provide status to a program at a program level, not just at the project level. So you can see here, sort of basic demo of this program is doing just fantastic. And then there are those projects that make up this particular program. And so here they are. They're also in this projects list. And I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth between both. But I can click on and work with these particular projects from in here. I can add a new one, a new project to my program, or I could bring it in from the intake process and assign it to this particular program, thus consuming some of that budget and so forth. So very powerful capability that can be expanded and extended using Power Apps. Again, you can leverage Flow and other things here to sort of build this out and make it more yours, but you have rich capability to start with right out of the gate. So jumping over to the projects list. So this is my complete list of my active projects. Think of it, if you're in Project Online or Project Server, think of it as Project Center, similar concept. And again, I can group them. So I might want to group them by stage. You'll see Create, Select, Plan, Manage, a paradigm we often use. I can leave them ungrouped and just look at the whole list. All the kinds of things that you would see and be used to if you've used Project Online in the past. Now let's sort of dig into it a little bit deeper. First of all, I can actually edit these right on this screen. So I can change the status of a project just like that right here in my main view. I can change my views around to be, by priority or by status. I can give it sort of different views you can think of, or you can configure more. I can also show charts and look at a different chart. As if you're used to Power BI and other Microsoft products, it's sort of very similar paradigm. But I want to spend some time drilling into a project in our list. Think of these as sort of project detail pages if you're familiar with Project Online. And here I have my core one, my summary data. Would have brought some of that data over from the initial request, but I might have further filled it out. Plus it's consuming data and calculations from elsewhere in here to give it more rich information right here on this home page. And fully configurable, I'll probably say that about every page. Then there's the actual business case. Again, some of this data might have come from the initial request, things like how it aligned to priority, but you may have further filled that out as part of your process in defining this project. Some of this data might have come in because the request was approved and you now need to fill it out. I'm going to skip over tasks just for a second so I can spend some time there. But now we have the risks, issues, changes, and status reporting. In Project Online, these were SharePoint lists in the project site. Now they have been elevated, if you will, to be a Power App in this core component. That gives us a lot of rich reporting capabilities and analytics later, but it brings it right to the fore here. So here I have, a quick risk I might have assigned to this project. I've got some requirements or an issue rather that I'm trying to track and so forth. And then I can do a change request if I wanted to. And then I can create a status report. So I want to go and create a new status report. Let's say I'm going to make this my July report. I am going to be the submitter because I'm in here as Daniel. It's reporting date, we'll say today. And I'm going to submit to Steve, why not? And I could write out some accomplishments and so forth, save and close. And I have now created a status report. There we go. Now there's my July report. It's missing some data, I didn't fill it out fully. But I can now keep a chronological or numerical history or running total or tab of all the status reports that we've created for this particular project. You can see the other data that's making up part of that story. Now let's jump to the tasks. So this is the integration with Project for the Web. So embedded in here is my Project for the Web project. And you can see we've created some tasks, some are done. So this is sort of your standard task list where I can just come in and say add new task, type it in, give it a duration, align it with things, create a dependency, and away I go. Very conventional sort of scheduling, nice clean user interface. But maybe I want to look at this differently. Maybe I want to look at it in the board view, similar to how Planner might work or anyone who's used Kanban boards. And I can start to drag and drop tasks between these different, and move this over to to-do. I can move these tasks around on a board and organize them this way. And I'm grouped by bucket. I could group by progress instead and see these are the ones that are completed. Let's say that that's actually in progress and so forth. Third, the actual schedule concept. So we have that here as well. If I come here and click on this and say, let me just scroll to tasks, make this go quicker. I'm going to maybe shorten my zoom a little bit. And you can see there's all my tasks. I can move a task and make the changes accordingly to that project. Move that back. So rich UI, Microsoft continues to invest aggressively in Project for the Web and add new capabilities all the time. It gives us sort of a very powerful desktop scheduling tool, all done here in the web. It's a very fluid UI. It's very new and modern. It gives us those three different views. You can type it out in a grid, almost like Excel. You can do it in a board similar to Planner or to any Kanban board technique, or you can do it in a more conventional timeline like project itself. The entire project engine is running in the background, and they continue to leverage its pieces to continue to mature and grow out this solution. But here it is inside the accelerator in our embedded solution as part of this to give us that scheduling capability, and all the other pieces are wrapped around it and are drawing from it data, budget consumption, progress, resource usage, all that information we're gleaning out of this and into other reports and other pages on this solution. I'll quickly wrap on the accelerator with some reports. Let me just log in quickly to Power BI. Here we go. Lots of reports in here. Jim, showed some of these in the slide deck. You could see the different reports that ship with the accelerator, and because it's Power BI, the world's your oyster. You can build lots of other reports with the data that you add, the fields you add, the structure that you need to report on and manage your projects in. So I have my request dashboard. Jim showed the portfolio health, I think was one of the ones that he showed. This is the list of projects and how they're progressing, and you can see the different information. Again, you can change these graphics to be bar charts and pie charts and all kinds of different things to make it yours. So that's the accelerator fairly quickly, but wanted to give you a good overview of what it does. What we've done at OnePlan is we're just going to change the area quickly. And you'll notice instantly a bunch more functionality appears. We're back on that same home dashboard, but now I can go and look at my work, the work assigned to me as Daniel. Let's give it a second to load. Okay, so it's loading up that information. And so we've layered in, this is my work or my timesheet. The same request capability is there. But now if I jump to projects and I pick, let me just grab one here. This one should work. Now you can see there are additional tabs. And these additional tabs give me capabilities now to go and capture rich budget information. In this particular example, using our tools, we can now do this monthly across a set of cost categories and expense types. Or I want to do resource planning, and I want to go beyond the data that's in Project for the Web, and I want to be able to plan this against the whole resource pool. So here you could see these are the resources on my project, how they're allocated both on this project and other work that they are on. So if I jump down here, I can look at, this is all the projects that Daniel's on and why he's over allocated. You can see the horrific over allocations there. We're going to need to fix that. So I can start to make some decisions both in this project and as a resource scheduler as to where I'm going to move my resources to balance this and fix this. So we've taken, again, we're still inside the accelerator, we're still inside the Power Apps frame, but we've added that next layer of data that Gartner talks about, the rich resource management, the financial planning, the optimization, so I can jump in here quickly and do resource optimization and look at that entire project pool again in a different way and say that I want to do prioritization. So I'm going to go to project prioritization. And I can run through a whole set of scenarios here as to how we want to prioritize these projects against budget constraints or resource constraints. So I have this rich capability here that I've added in to extend this platform to meet those sort of more complex and more mature needs. I'm going to end just by jumping to another environment. This one sort of takes Power Apps even further. Jim showed this, so here's the insights. He showed this on the screenshot. We talked about objectives and key results, so the articulation of strategy. So again, we've built that in as a Power App. There's my objectives. There's my key results that link to those objectives. We've turned demand management to more than just requests and added ideas and challenges and other things. This is where Power Apps really starts to shine in a PMO. Is engaging those other business processes and disparate systems you might be using, either tying to them using tools like Power Automate, I keep using the old term, or creating new Power Apps and doing away with an old sort of manual process or older sort of technology and bringing it in and engaging the audience through the Power Platform. So this one is an example of some of the things that our customers have asked us to do to extend it, to take the accelerator as the base, and then continue to grow and build on top of it with more and more pieces of Lego to build bigger and bigger and more complex solutions to meet their adaptive project management needs. And with that, Jim, I will turn it back to you.
All right, let me take back the screen real quick here.
Sure.
Let me know when you can see.
I can see it.
Terrific. Well, thanks for the great demo, Paul. Now we're going to summarize and give you some potential next steps you can take if you like some of what you saw here today. So in just wrapping up some concepts here, just reiterating that Microsoft is in the process of reimagining Project and Project Online, and that the new Microsoft solution is indeed built on the Power Platform. The Microsoft Ppm Accelerator was built by OnePlan Solutions in conjunction with Microsoft, but the new accelerator by itself doesn't necessarily have all the feature parity with Project Online or some of the capabilities you might have been used to. The Ppm Accelerator with OnePlan extends and goes beyond the capabilities of OnePlan, not only meets it, but goes beyond it. And OnePlan, as an organization, we help provide the solution, services, and support to help ensure a successful customer transition and help you get value and have successful outcomes with it. As you look at this, Project Online had a certain set of overall capabilities. Project for the Web with the Accelerator does a chunk of that. And the Accelerator with OnePlan really checks all the boxes and then some. Now, if you're moving from Project Online, this Project for the Web and Power Apps is really the direction for the more traditional PPM. It's aligned with Microsoft's vision there. It's a flexible platform for addressing customer requirements. And to be quite honest, you may already own the licensing for a bunch of this. So for example, if you have a Microsoft Project Professional Project Online license, a Plan 3 or Plan 5 license, you already have access to Project for the Web. You already have access to the Accelerator. It's just a matter of whether or not you enable it and use it. So the idea there is that you may already own some of what you already need in order to make this move. It's just a matter of getting your data there. The cons are it is missing a little bit of functionality, and it does require some investment in things like OnePlan, which is incremental. It's not like buying a whole separate solution in order to fill out the solution, but it's well aligned with Microsoft's vision and it's maturing as we speak. Now the project operations piece, if you are a professional services organization who's looking at doing that kind of client-facing billable type of model, that may be something for you to look at as well. But Project for the Web is really kind of more geared towards that traditional PPM use case. And so the better together, when you add the OnePlan piece in there, it's still aligned with the Microsoft vision with extending the Accelerator. It integrates not only more capabilities into the Accelerator, but it also allows you to bring in data from Microsoft Project and Planner and Azure DevOps and Jira and other tools. And it's all fully integrated with Microsoft Teams. Now, we do have migration tooling to help get data from Project Online into the new Accelerator. So if you want to do that, just know there is a path forward there, and we can help you with that. Or if you're not ready to pull the trigger and you're trying to understand what it's going to take, we do offer a migration workshop that'll help people plan out what it's going to take to get from point A to point B, and that what the steps are, what the effort is, and also what the costing might be from a total cost of ownership perspective, and factoring in the licensing you may already own. You can try all this stuff out. So you can actually go up to either GitHub or go to AppSource, where we have a free download of the Accelerator for the Ppm Accelerator. You will need authorization to work with Power Apps from your system administrator internally to make that enabled. But the idea is you download it from here, and we're happy to help you and chaperone you through this and make sure you have a successful trial on the Accelerator itself. If you want to try out the capabilities of adaptive PPM in OnePlan, also up in AppSource, there's a free trial you can download there as well. We're happy to support you on that as well. We also, from a workshop perspective, offer just a roadmap workshop. If it's not a migration workshop, just what are your current tools and solutions you're using? What are your current requirements and desired future state? What's it going to take to get you there? And maybe give you an idea of an implementation roadmap that you might take given your objectives and where you're starting from. So take us up on that. It is a free thing that we can do for you. We do webinars like this all the time. We have 3 more scheduled here in the next few weeks. On August 5th, we're going to do When Your Teams Are Agile, but Leadership Thinks Waterfall, Enabling Hybrid Project Portfolio Management. So once again, extending and going deeper into that concept of using a variety of tools and methodologies. In a similar vein, on August 12th, we have Homogeneous or Hybrid, Uniting Agile and Traditional Project Management into one environment. We'll talk about how to do that and what that looks like so you can get a feel for what that entails. And then on August 19th, we have Driving Digital Transformation Through the Agile PMO. As organizations try and strive to become more and more agile and going through digital transformation efforts, there's some good information here that may help you as you go through that journey. So go to oneplan.ai/webinars and sign up for these if you have some interest. So as next steps, you can join us on a free trial, which we're happy to help you with, any roadmap workshop or even a migration workshop. And then we give a very high-level generalized demo today. If you want more in-depth or more personalized demo to actually address your specific requirements one-on-one, let us know. We're happy to schedule that. Reach out to us at contact@oneplan.ai. So that's it for today. I'd just like to say thank you. OnePlan really appreciates your interest and your business. Just to let you know that we are invested in success, and that means your success. You can see more about us at oneplan.ai in your browser, and you can reach contact at oneplan.ai in general, or if you'd like to reach out to Paul or I individually, feel free to use our email addresses down below. You once again will be getting a copy of the slide deck, and you will be getting a recording to watch after the fact or share with other people, probably about within the next 24 hours. So thanks again for your time today, and have a great day.